Hi everybody, I am so glad that you have joined me tonight. I just put the kids to bed and I am ready to spend 1 hour making 10 freezer meals with you. I'm going to be walking step by step through each recipe. There's going to be 5 recipes and we are going to double each of them. For the detailed instructions, the shopping list, some tips and tricks, you'll need to subscribe to my meal plan, which is free for your first month, and then only $5 every month after that. Now, not only will you get all the information on the meals that I'm covering on this video, but you will also get the recipes and shopping list for 20 fresh ingredient meals as well. So I have completely planned your whole month of meals for you, and I can't wait to get started on these freezer meals because these are going to save you a ton of time. So again, these should only take an hour. They should only cost about $100 for all the ingredients for all 10 meals. Let's go. So a few things that you want to make sure that you have on hand when you're making freezer meals. This is the top thing that I share with everybody. These are baggie holders. And in the meal plan, I've included the link, the Amazon link on how to get these. Basically, they're about $10 and you get 4 of them. And you're gonna wanna use all 4 when you make these freezer meals tonight or during the day, whenever you're making them. Another thing you wanna have on hand is a tub of soapy water. I didn't have any extra tubs, so I'm going ahead and just using one of my mixing bowls. And this has just warm soapy water in it. And I'm going to also have a towel near me that has a wet end and a dry end. So if I need a measuring cup that was used for something else and I need it clean, I'm throwing it in that tub after I use it. And then in order to use it again, I would just wipe it off with the wet side of the towel and dry it off with the dry side of the towel, and I'm ready to go. So that's a quick, easy way if you do not have enough measuring spoons or cups to use a few for each meal. I have enough that I actually have exactly what I need for each meal, but some of you may only have one set of each and you're gonna have to reuse them for different recipes, and that's fine. That's a quick way to do that. You're obviously gonna need some cutting boards. I suggest having one for the raw meat, one for the meat that is not raw, and then one for cutting up vegetables. All right, a few tips and tricks that I want to give to you before we get started. The first is empty your dishwasher beforehand and get all your dishes cleaned that are by your sink, because when you're done, you're going to be exhausted. This is going to be a full hour-long process. So make sure that those things are done so that when you are finished making your meals, all you need to do is throw stuff in the dishwasher and clean a few of those hand washables and you'll be done. If you don't, then you're stuck having to unload your dishwasher, put all that stuff away, and you're not gonna want to do that after this hour. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be good and very productive, but you will be tired afterwards. So that's one suggestion I have, to take care of that ahead of time. The second thing is purchase things that are pre-cut, and I can't emphasize that enough. The cilantro that I bought is pre-cut, and that is not because I can't cut cilantro, but because I want to cut time. My kids are in bed and I have about an hour before I want to go to bed. So I only have an hour to spend. That's going to cut my time in large amounts. So buy that. You can also buy green pepper and onion already cut in the freezer section. There are some supermarkets that don't carry it, but Walmart for sure, and pretty much anybody has a Walmart near them. Walmart carries pre-cut green pepper and onion in the freezer section, and they're already chopped exactly how each of the recipe calls for them. The last one, eat beforehand. You do not want to be making these amazing meals while you're hungry, because it's just, you're going to get frustrated. It's not going to go fast enough for you. You're going to want to eat them right then and there. And I just really encourage you to eat something beforehand so that you're not starving as you make these meals. One of the first things we need to take care of is getting our Ziploc bags labeled. And on the meal plan, you will find specifics on exactly what labels to put on what bags. But let me tell you real quick, I choose, instead of to put the name of the recipe, because that's a lot of writing, And instead of writing the instructions, because that's a lot of writing, what I do is I put the meal number on the bag as well as the use by date. And I have created a cheat sheet for you on the meal plan that all you need to do is print off, and it's going to give you step-by-step instructions on actually how to cook each meal. It will say meal number 5 and tell you the name of the meal and then tell you exactly how to cook what's inside of here. So that's really helpful for spouses who are trying to help make dinner. It's really helpful for older children that are trying to help out. It gives you step-by-step instructions, and it's just one sheet of paper that you just, and what I do is I laminate mine, stick it on the freezer so I know exactly where it is every time, and the corresponding number goes with what's on the sheet. So you're going to be doing your Ziploc bags. You're also going to be doing your foil, and it will give you instructions on exactly how to do that. And as soon as I'm done with those, I'm going to lay those by the specific meal that they correspond with on my table. Now, I keep pointing this way. My kitchen table is right here, and I have every meal broken down in order on the table. I think I showed you that when I showed you my grocery breakdown. So that's the best way that I have found to do it, because when I'm ready to make that specific meal, I just grab all of those things and bring it to the counter. So, all right, go ahead and do your Ziploc bags and, label your Ziploc bags and label your foil. Okay, all my Ziploc bags are labeled as well as my foil, and I have put them over by the corresponding meals that they go with. And one thing I do want to say is I put out a lot of my refrigerated food on the table to make it easier for me. And the reason that I'm willing to do that is because it's only going to take an hour to cook to assemble all of these meals. And so I'm not too concerned about there being some issues with the food sitting out too long. Besides, after I assemble the meal, I stick it right in my fridge or right in the freezer. So I'm not too worried about it sitting out. Now the chicken I still have in the fridge, and obviously all the frozen stuff I keep in the freezer until I'm ready to use it. And the meals that have frozen products that go in them need to go back in the freezer right away. You don't want to put those in the refrigerator and allow the food to thaw and then refreeze it again. So there's that. I am going to start prepping a few things. The first thing that I'm going to do is chop up my vegetables. Now in these recipes, we are going to be using cilantro, green pepper, onion, and red pepper. Now I bought my green pepper and my onion and my cilantro pre-cut, so I do not need to cut any of those things, but I do need to cut my red pepper. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to chop that into just fine little bits. And if you did not buy pre-minced garlic that's in a container, that's my favorite way to go, then you're going to want to mince your garlic right now too. So your task right now is to chop up all the vegetables, the cilantro, the green pepper, the onion, and the red pepper, and get your garlic all made as well. That's 12 cloves worth. So that's a lot. If you can buy it in the jar already prepackaged, ready to go, I encourage you to, if that's an option in your area. So let's go ahead and take care of chopping up those vegetables. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a separate cutting board, and I am going to slice up the sausages that are going to be used in the gumbo. And I'm just going to do just little slices for that, and that's going to go super fast. That shouldn't take very long since it's already pre-cooked sausage. It's just going to be a matter of slicing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can join me. Okay, 2 more prep tasks before we can assemble the meals. The first one is I'm going to open all of the containers so that when I assemble, all I need to do is pour and dump and things like that. So I'm going to take off the top from the broth. I'm going to open all my cans, and I am also in my jars, and I'm also going to go ahead at this time and drain the 2 cans of black beans. I'm going to rinse them and drain them and rinse them and drain them. I want to make sure I get all the goobers off the beans so that they are ready just to dump in. Do not drain the tomatoes. You want all of the juices that are with the tomatoes, just get the top off. So get your can opener open, ready to go, and open all the things that are currently sealed. and then we'll meet back and we'll do one more prep task and we'll be ready to assemble the meals. And the assembling the meals is actually the fastest and easiest part. So you are getting the harder part out of the way right now. One thing I do want to say is I do not prep the chicken at this point. So we are going to do the 3 chicken recipes last, and I like to prep the chicken just before I assemble the chicken meals. And that is in hopes of alleviating getting chicken juice on everything. So I wait till the very end to prep my chicken, and the prepping for that's not so much. I just have to chop up about 4 pounds worth into cubes, and that goes pretty quickly. So don't do anything with the chicken yet. We're just about finished prepping everything else. So go ahead and get your tops off of everything, open everything up, ready to use. All right, the last prep thing that we are going to do before we start assembling the meals is my favorite. I don't know why it's my favorite. I just really like this part. So you're going to take, this is for the fajita kits. We are putting part of the kit together already because when we're all done, we can just throw it in the bag with everything else. So as the instructions said, you need 2 quart-size bags for this, and then 2 unlabeled gallon bags. So you've got some that are labeled with the number 5 for the fajita kit, and don't use the ones that are labeled. You're gonna use 2 of your gallon bags that aren't labeled yet for this part. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your flour tortillas and you are going to count out 6 and put 6 in one bag, or not 6, 8. Put 8 in one of the gallon bags and put 8 in the other gallon bag. So each gallon bag will have 8 tortillas in it, so 16 total. For me, I'm gonna have some extras. This was a pack of 20, so I'm gonna have some extras. You know what, I might throw those in there. So I'm gonna do 10 and 10, just because I can, in each of the gallon bags. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my quart-size bags and I'm just gonna divide this cheese up into the 2 quart-size bags. So I'm doing half of the bag in one quart-size bag and half of the bag in the other quart-size bag. So I'm just dividing this into 2. There's nothing precise about it. There's 2 cups in here, so it's about 1 cup per quart-size bag. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to make sure that all of the air is out. So as we go through assembling these meals, I'm going to keep saying make sure all the air is out, and that is in hopes of saving your food from freezer burn. So in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and just demonstrate with the cheese. I'm just going to put about half in here. I'm not going to worry about precision, like I said. Okay, that's about half of that bag. And I'm going to shake it till it lays down. And I'm going to close it until I get about to 1 inch to the end. And let me do this. I'm going to put the bag over the counter so that the cheese is hanging. And I'm going to push the bag down, push all of the air out, and then finish sealing. And what's gonna happen is when you lift the bag up, you're gonna have this amazing seal. This won't even move, it's sealed so tight. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna push it as much as you can, wiggle it around, and we want this to be flat. Every package we put in our freezer today needs to be flat. And that is because after it freezes flat, we are able to go into our freezer the next day and put everything up this way. And that way you can pretty much fit all of the meals we're gonna make today, minus the ones that are in your aluminum containers. You'll be able to fit all of those in your freezer, probably just in one shelf. So they'll stack like books. So anyway, flatten this out as much as you can. Fill the other bag with the other half of the cheese, and then go ahead and divide up your tortillas and meet back with me when you're done with that. Okay, so I've got my 2 packs of tortillas and I've got my 2 packs of cheese, and I'm gonna go put them on the table over by the fajita kit stuff, and I am ready to start assembling meals. We are going to start with the sausage gumbo. That'll be our first meal. All right, everything minus the chicken and some of the frozen items are prepped and ready to go. Let's start assembling. Okay, I have gathered everything that I need for the sausage gumbo. I have pulled my okra from the freezer, and I have also pulled the onions from the freezer. At this point, You can leave your onions out for the entire rest of the time because we are gonna go so fast, you don't need to worry about them thawing completely. So for this, you're gonna need your sausage. For each bag, you're gonna need your sausage, you're gonna need your okra, and I bought a 24-ounce bag. The recipe calls for 10 ounces in each bag, so I just bought a 24-ounce one because that's all that they had available. We're gonna have our onion, our red pepper, garlic, canned diced tomatoes, our Worcestershire sauce, salt, and pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and put my bags up on the baggie holders, which are the best things invented ever. Because I'm using gallon-sized bags, I wanna make sure that I have them up as high as I can. And I'm going to open it up. You will be surprised how well these things work. They are amazing. All right, now the best part is you have everything prepped ready to go. So now it's just a matter of dumping it in the bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with my sausage, and I'm gonna dump my sausage in each bag. See how fun this is? It's fast when it's all prepared. I'm gonna do my okra, and again, I'm splitting this bag that I bought. Half in that one, half in that one. And just go throw this away. Go ahead and make the easy ravioli lasagna. And the one thing that I want to tell you about this is I make the spinach ricotta filling all together. So for both pans, I make it all in one bowl. And as I'm going, I just use about 1/4 of it at a time. So I'm gonna put both bags of spinach and all of the ricotta into the bowl, mix it up, add my garlic, and I'm gonna start building my lasagna. So I'm probably gonna speed through that process, but I wanna show you as I go. So here we go. Take some plastic wrap first, and you are going to push it down because we want to create a seal to try to get rid or try to alleviate freezer burn. And if you don't feel like it covered very well, put some more on because you're going to want to do this step. Now, one thing I didn't mention before that I probably should have is on your foil for this, you probably want to make a note about making sure to remove the plastic before cooking. You do not want to accidentally pop this in the oven with the plastic on it because it will melt the food. After I'm done putting the plastic on, I'm going to cover with 2 layers of foil. The top layer is going to be the one that I already labeled. chop up 4 pounds of chicken into cubes. And when you're done, divide up the 4 pounds into 2 pounds each in each of these bags. Okay, I have my chicken chunks. Here we go. In my bags, I've added the cornstarch, and that is all that's going in the gallon size bag. And what I'm doing is I'm basically just kind of massaging. I've already done my sealing trick, and now I'm just kind of massaging the cornstarch in with the chicken to make sure that it's all coated. Another way to do that would be do this. Whatever you need to do to make sure the chicken has cornstarch on it. I took the rest of the chicken for the rest of the recipes and just put it in this pan so that it's ready to go to assemble the other meals. The other part of the sesame honey chicken lettuce wraps that goes with this bag of chicken and cornstarch is the sauce. And I have already made that and put it in the marked quart size bags that we have ready to go. So I already made the sauce for that, and I am getting ready to put that all together, and I'm going to put it in the fridge and then finish the last 2 meals. Okay, for our last 2 recipes, I have already put in the baggie holders my number 4 bags. There's 2 of them. That's for the cilantro lime chicken. And then I have my 2 bags for the fajita chicken kits, or chicken fajita kits. Those are going to be unmarked bags. Do not use the marked bags for this portion. The marked bag is going to be what everything else goes inside for the chicken fajita kit. And that keeps it really easy to figure out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and divvy up the chicken among these 4. The cilantro lime chicken, I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze my limes. All right, and I'm gonna finish up the cilantro lime chicken. All right, the last thing we have to do is put the fajita meat together. So I'm gonna go ahead, put my ingredients in. Once I finish putting the rest of the spices in, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close up these bags, and I am going to place them inside the labeled fajita bag. And then I'm also going to put in one of the packets of tortillas and then one of the packets of cheese, and that's my whole kit, and it is ready to go. I hope that this has been helpful to you. I hope that this has been a blessing to your family and that you guys enjoy the meals. I would love to hear about your experiences, so please comment below.